host on. We have Dre Monster 870 is in the chat. Where's our people at? Where are our people? Where are our people tonight? Scorpio Moe, what's good?
What's good? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
It's a long week.
It has been a very long week. It has been a very long week. I had a this morning I did a photo shoot for rolling out. We did a photo shoot with Jermaine Dupri. That went really, really well. It's gonna be really dope. You guys have to look out for that. But then I went to a girlfriend of mine had an art exhibit. I went from the photo shoot to the art exhibit and then home. But that was a full day. I literally got home like 30 minutes ago. So yeah. What about you?
Um, long everything, man. Just a lot going on this week,
Yeah.
but it cleaned itself up by towards the end of the week. But very, very busy juggling a lot of stuff. But we here.
Yeah.
I need this chat to build up though.
Yeah, we need. I don't know what's going on. Y'all just as tired as we are. Hey, Linda. Hey, G Dub. Hey, Armatic.
Yo, go there. It's been a long week for everybody. I see.
Yeah, everybody coming in a little bit late to the party. A little bit late to the party. Renell Woods. Thank you so much for starting it off from Dallas. You guys go ahead and put where you are watching tonight's show. If you are watching tonight with us live, make sure you put your city in the chat. If you are watching this later, make sure you go ahead and put your city in the chat because we want to know where everybody is is watching from. We want to know where you're at. Milwaukee, Columbus, Detroit. That's what's up.
What?
That's what's up.
Columbus, Ohio, Columbus, Georgia, Columbus where?
Denver. Okay, my mommy is in Denver. Jacksonville, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina. I love the fact Memphis, Tennessee, New Jersey. I love the fact that our chat is so we're diverse. Austin. That's what's up. Austin, Texas. I love the fact. Oh, state. I love it. I love it. We're very diverse.
I'm talking about Northeast people. I see you up there in New York. Okay, I see.
Yep. Hey, I just want to say I think we should do our dating tips before our guest because we got a guest tonight that I really want to get into. So I think we should get the dating tips over and done with. What do you think?
Let's get it.
All right. Okay. So my dating tip for this week, ladies. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty, right? We've been talking about how to pull him in, what things to do in the initial courtship. But this dating tip for tonight is really about once you know you're kind of feeling the guy, right? This is very important. Ladies, do not, actually, ladies and gentlemen as well. If there are any gentlemen in the building, this tip can be for everybody. It's a dating tip. Do not ask questions you are not prepared to hear the answer for, right? Because I think a lot of times we ask questions and we don't we're not prepared emotionally for what will happen if you hear an answer that you don't want to hear. So then you end up responding emotionally. So I think that it's important to before you ask a question, ask yourself, how are you going to feel if the answer is not one that you would want to hear, right? Tonight on the show, we see Chaz has a lot of connections. Chaz is connected with everybody. We're going to get into that.
I wore the shirt.
I saw. I like that. I figured that was in. I figured that was in support of our good friend Chaz. But yeah, like when you ask a man something, you have to be prepared for what he's going to say. And if you're not prepared and you're going to react emotionally, or it's going to hurt you more than you're able to handle, don't ask the question, right? Ask a question. Do the work with yourself first. And I would say this, if you are not able to handle hearing real honest answers, then you may not be ready to actually date, because dating means that you have to be so self-assured that even if he says something that you don't want to hear, you know that that's just the wrong one getting himself out of the way for the right one. right? So that is my tip. Don't ask questions unless you are prepared to hear either answer. A lot of times we ask questions and we only want to hear the answer that we want them to say. When they don't say that answer, we are hurt. We don't know what to do. We start flipping out. And you end up staying in the same situation anyway, just making everybody miserable. So when you ask somebody that you're first starting to date, like, are you seeing other people? You have to always be prepared to hear yes and to hear exactly what that looks like for him. And
Right.
also, if you don't respond in a way that's mature, then what you're going to do is teach him to lie to you.
Great point. Great point. Great point. Hey, and stop asking, well, when's the last time you had sex? Because if I say it was yesterday, don't be mad. I'm saying you asked me.
You got to be prepared to hear earlier today.
Right. Or I'm about to get off the phone with you.
But no, seriously, I think a lot of times women we want to hear the answer that we want. And then, but I think it's important to ask answers, which is why the second part of that was like, if you're not ready for that, then you're not probably ready to date. You need to do some more work on yourself, because when you're as confident in yourself as you need to be, then if he doesn't answer in a way that's acceptable to you, it's fine for you to move on.
That's
You know, because nobody is, as Mo told me, one monkey don't stop no show. I mean, you told me that, yeah.
Just say that. I knew a lot of monkeys at the time.
Thank you, God. Thank you, S. Freeman, and somebody else. Thank you guys so much for keep putting those cities in the chat. Okay, Mo, come on with what's your dating tip for tonight?
All right, now this is for the fellas. This is kind of like into the dating. You might do it on the first date. I don't know if you ask women this, but when you're inviting women into your home, back to the crib, let me give you some pointers, fellas.
Come on, child.
Bring her back to a clean crib. Let's start with the clean crib, because a lot of dudes sometimes only really clean when they know a woman's about to come over.
Yeah.
But throw everything in the closet. But really, like, have your stuff together, man. Women like clean, stuff clean, in order, especially the bathroom, fellas. The bathroom, very, very, very important. But make the place comfortable. A comfortable setting goes a long way. Smelling good, if you do the candles, that kind of thing. Plugins, whatever is necessary. Fabuloso, boil it if you got to do whatever it takes. But smelling good in a comfortable environment. I don't know. Hopefully you're of age where you're still not having roommates. But if you got roommates, that's kind of uncomfortable. Women like comfortability. Is that a word, comfortability? Okay, cool. Comfortable spot. Have refreshments.
We like refreshments.
Yes, y'all do. And they like snacks too.
We do like snacks.
No, like snacks. But a spot comfortable. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a friend stop by his house to pick up something, and we were talking for a minute while he had company. The young lady was on the couch, and I was like, "Well, let me get up out of here," because he kept talking. I was trying to give him his space. I got into the car and I texted him because she was already there, and I was there for at least 30 minutes. And I texted him, and I was like, "You ain't getting none." And he texted me back, "Why?" I said, "Man, she got her coat on still." That's how I knew she wasn't comfortable. When women, they come in, they curl up on your couch like a cat. They take their shoes off like women. That's how you can tell she's comfortable. So I told him, and then the next day he was like, "You're right. She probably left about 30 minutes after you did." I was like, "I told you, who keeps their coat on the couch and just, you know what I'm saying?" So it's all about comfortable, in my opinion.
No, I agree. We see that with this show. I mean, that's definitely, we're gonna talk about that in a little while.
His house, and she said was one of it. Yo, that'll do a lot of talking for you, fellas. So just have your stuff in order, nice, neat, smelling good place.
Furnished. I saw someone said in the chat, clean and furnished, because
yeah, and that's another thing. That full time with that big screen TV ain't gonna cut it, player. That twin bed your mama gave you and told you could have is not gonna cut it.
That black lacquer furniture, sir.
Yeah, this is not the 90s. That emerald green and black lacquer is not gonna work.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. But I can't tell you how many guys' houses, when I first started dating, I went, we eventually got to that place, and you have a nice time with them out. They got a little change in their pocket. You get back to the house and there's like nothing but a couch and a TV and like one washcloth and one towel. And I'm like, how are you in here like this? What is happening?
But you know what that is, though, right?
Mm-mm.
Especially if they're young, because they spending their money on y'all. You guys are not spending their. You guys are furnishing. You go to a woman's house in her 20s, it's fully furnished. You got a guy, he's trying to buy things to impress her to bring her back to a house with nothing in it. But if he took his time and focused on him, he'd like put the stuff in. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Chaz is winning, because them women came to that house and they were like, oh, yes, I can see myself here.
But just like, but you got to bring her back to the house. So he's spending money on the car because she got to the house first. That's the magnet to bring her. So, and then once she's there is the next level. It's got to be comfortable, fly, and together. And you ain't got to think you got to have much, but just have it nice, clean.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that
sturdy and steady. You want something that, like you said, because I do, all women, you sit on someone's couch and it's nice and plush. Then next thing you know, you want to, have your socks on and just curl up in the little, in the position.
That's how you could tell, because they be like, can I take my shoes off? And when they're super comfortable, they don't even ask. They just do it. So in my old trick, when I think I told you this, I purposely didn't have TV in my living room.
You did tell me that.
When I was in my 20s, because I had it in the room. That's how I would automatically get her into the. I'm saying too much, but that was in my 20s. That
was actually in your 30s. Yeah.
Fuck, they need to know that.
I'm sorry. When you told, okay. Yep.
Like I was saying, never mind all that. We'll go on to let's move on. That's my tip, though. Have your place clean, order, together, especially that bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom is important. It's important. It is important. So tonight,
towels from the Dollar General is go spend some money on some towels. Them cheap hard towels.
Get some nice towels at Walmart,
and
that have a little bit of plushness to them. And it's fine. And also, don't use the guest towel and washcloth. Leave those. Don't put the washcloth or wash towel for people to use when they use the bathroom and it's already used by you. No, fresh towel, extra for guests. Yeah.
There you go. That's
I like that. What's up? Chloe Coco, K Coco, what's up? Haitian Empress is giving some TJ Maxx and Costco. Those are actually really great places to find dope things for your house that are not so much. You can get nice pillows for your sofa, accent pillows.
All these good home goods.
Yeah. Ask one of your female friends for some advice if you need help.
My spot, but I don't feel like taking the camera around, but my shit together.
So, all right. So tonight we have a guest joining us. Dominick is joining us. I'm excited about him coming on because there's a lot we need to ask Dominick about time.
Yes, sir.
On the show. Just overall, what were your thoughts about tonight's episode? Wasn't necessarily as juicy as I expected it to be. It was actually a pretty light. You think it was?
I thought it was.
I guess I was expecting it to be like some past seasons, and it was not quite. It didn't take it to that. it didn't look like anybody spent the night. I mean, we know people probably did, but we didn't see a lot of that. We didn't see a lot of, you know, canoodling. You know, we didn't see a lot of that. It was mainly about this strategy and the fact that this is the first season that someone from the cast has put all this out on blast, and the audience and production has left it in, because it may have happened before, but we've never seen it before. But LaRon is just, he is living his authentic life. Can we say that?
Yes.
He is in authenticity. He is going to tell it. He is not holding back. But
he also he slightly had a strategy, because he was not trying to go home. So he's trying to figure out, look, we can't be alive.
I was like, was he ordained the boss of the house?
No, but he had to do something, because he knew he was on the chopping block.
Oh, because he was like,
I respect
no more of this, no more of that, and no more of this, and no more of that. I was like, you know what? If they don't give him something, because he is out here calling shots. All right, well, we got our special guest in the house, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, because I know we're gonna have a good time tonight. It's Friday. We don't have the restraints of the midweek show. So if you have questions for our guests, go ahead and put those in the chat, and we'll try to get to as many of those as we can. Okay. But without further ado, Mo, I'm going to let you introduce the guest tonight.
Is he originally from Texas? Ladies and gentlemen, because I got the clapper too, so I got the sound.
Okay, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of the chat, please welcome from Ready to Love this season, Dominick.
How y'all doing?
Dominick, okay, the Vanguard. He's in the building. Welcome, and welcome, sir.
Thank y'all for having me. What up, Mo?
What's up?
Absolutely. How has your week been?
It's been rough. I work a lot, so been putting in a lot of time this week. So I'm just glad to be home.
Okay, yeah. We're all there. We all had a long, hard week.
Yeah, this week was woof. Yeah,
I already know.
Friday.
Yeah, well, it's dope to have you here on a Friday night. Dominick, just since we're starting there with work, what do you do? What is your what career are you in?
So I'm an accountant. So I'm an accountant for an oil and gas company based out of Texas.
Okay.
And I own my own business. So I've been curating art shows for about 8 years.
Nice.
So now it's an international art show. So I do them in Mexico, Texas, and Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in addition to your accounting.
Yeah, and I'm in real estate, so I own a couple of Airbnbs. So
okay,
yeah,
nice.
Now, see, I had you pegged wrong when I first saw you, and I was seeing the ladies was like, ooh, I was like, he looked like he built houses. I thought you could build a house or something.
Man, I wish, but nah, that's Will. That's what Will is into. So yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm excited to be here. I'm a fan of y'all. So I've been watching y'all. So my first season of Ready to Love watching was the first Dallas season.
Okay.
So I saw when you kind of started off by yourself, then Mo came in. So
yeah, well, actually, I've been doing this since the first season of Ready to Love.
Really? Okay.
Atlanta. Yeah, so we've been doing this since then, and Mo and I have been friends forever. And so I would always ask his opinion, and I've had a couple other guys come on, but we just have, we know each other so well, and we've helped each other through the dating, so it made sense, and we're having a good time. So we're excited that you are here as well. I will just start out by saying, and Mo, you can tell him what you think. This season has puzzled me, Dominick, because I don't feel like we saw. Like, I've watched every episode, every season since the first one here in Atlanta. And I don't feel like we saw the individual dates with a lot of chemistry. Like, we just didn't get to see a lot of dates with people one-on-one. We saw some group dates, and we saw a lot with the, kind of things going back and forth for the drama. Right. But I don't feel like we really got a chance to see people real connections so that the viewers could actually get excited about certain couples.
Right. So basically, the people who put the show together, they give y'all what they think y'all want to see.
Right.
And so this season, we had a few clips that went viral. And I think that they pay attention to shares, likes, comments. And so gaslighting, people arguing and shit. That's what people want to see. People say they want to see love and shit, but they don't share love. You know what I'm saying? So like when I think about it, if Barack Obama slapped the shit out of Michelle, that would go viral. But if he gave her a kiss, wouldn't nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So we say we want to see love, but not what people are sharing. So if people shared more love, they would show more love.
I got you.
That's good. That is good. Hold on. We got a question. For you, Dominique. The questions are coming in quick and fast. This question says, are you a lazy dater, Dominick? You know, the type who likes to look serious, speak about relationships and commitment, but is ultimately a time waster?
Yes, I am. I'm that person depending on how much I like the woman. So when I come across somebody who I feel like is pressure, then I apply pressure. You know, but if I'm coming across a woman who I feel like I can easily meet on a Tuesday night or a Saturday night, then I want to feel like somebody's special before I apply pressure, for sure.
That's fair.
Okay. That is fair.
That is fair. Okay, Mo, what did you think about? What have you thought about this season?
Well, this is my first full season of Ready to Love. You know what I'm saying? The other one that came in at the end of the Dallas.
Yeah, you did.
Catch it, but I'm not comparing it. I'm just basing it on this. I think the choices, it was a lot of attractive people. I didn't really see. You could get fooled by the first mixer.
Yeah. But
as we went on, I didn't see anybody lock in. I thought I saw somebody about to.
Yeah.
But once that went away, I didn't see any real, you know, I saw some possibilities, but I think people were just trying to figure everybody out. And plus, so many people saw the show. I think people were playing it maybe a little too safe. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see why you would say that. I would say for myself, I feel like people connected way more than what they actually like. Generally, how many people end up as couples? 1, 2, 3? Like usually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, usually they get to the end and there's 3. There's 3 that make it to the end. Now, those 3 don't always make it back to the reunion.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so you're right. It's not like a lot of couples, but I think we saw we would see people like each other and then something come up, right? And then it's like, okay, they can't get past that hurdle. My thing is just that I would have liked to see, we didn't know that you and Vanessa had a connection, right? Yeah. I would have liked to seen that. I don't feel like we saw it.
I felt cheated with that. I felt cheated.
Yeah, I mean, me too, watching it, but I understood why they did that, you know, and I can elaborate on that whenever y'all want me to. But me and Vanessa, we met at the brunch. You know, they split up to 2 different mixes. So we met at the brunch, and you know, I watched one of Lamar interviews, and he said that he saw Maya, and Maya was so beautiful to the point to where he didn't want to sit beside her. I was kind of the opposite. As soon as I saw Vanessa, I locked in on Vanessa. You know, so we chopped it up, and I told her just about my life, told her what I do for a living. I also told her I used to live in Mexico, and just so happened she was in the town that I lived in Mexico, and she took a picture right beside my condo.
Wow.
And so shit like that for me, it meant something to me. I don't really believe in coincidence, but she literally had a picture of her, and my condo was in the background. And so we connected from the brunch and stayed in contact. I don't think that me and Vanessa I don't think that production really wanted to see me and her rock. So we had to kind of build a connection more so outside of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? What were the signals that was not the storyline that they wanted to nurture?
Well, I think with them splitting up the 2 different mixes, whoever you connected with in your mixer, sometimes they kind of held you to that particular connection. So for instance, in my mixer, it was me and Mika. We had a cute little moment and shit on the bridge. And they held me and Mika together way beyond what we were supposed to be held together. They had us going on dates. And by the time me and Mika showing up on that, we looking at each other like, damn, you again? You know, they damn near forced me and Mika, trying to make it something that I don't think me or Mika was really into. Like, we respect each other, but I don't think we were really looking at each other as options for real. So, and I think we all saw the moment that Chaz and Vanessa had. Vanessa wasn't really fucking with nobody from that mix. She was making all these weird ass faces and shit. But then when Chaz came around, like, she got the googly eyes and shit. So they saw that and they wanted to kind of make that happen.
That makes sense. B asked why you were missing. Were you not filming? Were you busy with work? Where was you? Because there was like at least 1 or 2 episodes where we didn't see you at all. And we asked here on the channel, where's Dominick?
Yeah, I almost left the process. So I had to fly back to Nashville to take care of some family shit, and it put a lot of pressure on production because they needed me to come back. They damn near forced me to come back. They was telling me, like, we need you back by this date, or else I know you got this going on. So, like, production had to figure out the show without me, because I started out really strong, but once I started showing up, not coming to work, quote unquote, they had to figure out a way to shoot the show without me. So even the moments that I was in, I think they went ahead with the narrative that I was just absent.
Yeah, they did, because you were a favorite in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So let's go backwards a little bit. Okay. What landed you at the Ready to Love on Ready to Love reality show on the Ready to Love? How did you get here, Dominick?
It's kind of a long but a short story, so I'll try to make it quick. So I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee, which not too far from y'all. Moved to Dallas in September of 2022. So I moved to Dallas for work, but I also have this app called Hinge. So so before I accept the job, I moved my Hinge location to Dallas. And I'm like, oh shit, Dallas got some baddies, you know what I'm saying? So so I take the job. 3 months later, I'm still on Hinge. And I matched with this cute, very slim chick. Said she lived in Los Angeles. So I matched with her. And so I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she like, I'm good. What's your phone number? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, usually cute chicks they're not that easy.
Right. So
I'm a little skeptical of it. And but I said, fuck it, I'm gonna give her my number anyway. So I gave her my number, and I get a call from an LA number like 3 days later. And I'm thinking it's my cousin. I usually don't answer from unknown numbers. And it was Ready to Love. So they catfished me on a dating app.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So this some shit, like, I don't even watch TV. Like, my TV is right over here. Like, that motherfucker don't even come on unless I'm watching football or basketball or some shit. But I was familiar with the show. My mom watches it. So when they came to me about the show, I talked to my mom about it. And she knew I just moved to the city. She knew that I was bringing my events to Dallas. And she was like, she said, the women on the show generally aren't your type. She said they tend to be a little older, tend to have children. She said, if you're going to go on the show, just make sure you're open to that, like genuinely open. And I was like,
That was good advice from your mom. So we got to ask you, I was concerned when I heard you say the number of children that you wanted. Is that really what you want, 10 children?
Well, yeah, like when somebody asks you how much money do you want, do you say $1 million or do you say $1 billion? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think if they would have asked me how many do I plan on having, I would have been like, okay, maybe 2 or 3. But that's shit. How many I want 30. You know what I'm saying? So I meant it more so as wanting, like, I want reparations. I want equality, but that's some shit that ain't never finna happen. You know what I'm saying? That don't keep me from wanting. I want a lot of kids.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But in reality, I don't see myself having 10 children. I can see myself having 3, maybe 4.
Okay. That was really something that people were concerned about. It was like, because for a woman, you got to understand our role in the childbearing is a little different than you guys. So when you hear a man say he wants 10 children, it's like, you just want my body to be just like messed up for 10 years. You just don't want me to have because do you know something? I don't know if you know this either, Mo. Do you know it takes a woman's body 5 years to heal from having one baby? Like,
I did not know that.
That is how long that it takes for her body to return to normal. Everything, because it may look like she can lose weight, and I know we can get mommy makeovers and all that, but internally, it takes that long for her body to return. So it's like it's really a beautiful process, but it really is it does a lot to your body.
Right. No, I feel that. So yeah. So now I do want a bunch of kids though. 10 may be a stretch. A lot of people commented on that shit.
Yeah. 'Cause that's extreme. That's extreme,
Yeah.
Dominick.
But shit, people was asking like, how could I afford it? I'm like, shit. Like with me, I travel abroad like damn near probably once or twice a month.
Okay.
So I do a lot of traveling. I've also lived in another country. So for me, one thing I realized is that 20,000, 100,000, 200,000, it goes a lot further in other places. And I can personally see myself like living in another country and raising my family in another country.
One of the there was somebody that said that on another I think the Miami series. Let me ask you this, Dominick, because for men that have lived outside the country, right? Anybody that lived outside the country, you have a different perspective. You're able to kind of look at things and see things differently. What do you think that the dynamic between men and women and with dating is different overseas than it is here?
Most definitely. For instance, when I was living in Mexico, I went on a date with a very young Mexican lady. So she was visiting. I lived in Playa del Carmen. She was visiting from Monterrey, Mexico, which is a couple of hours north. And she was probably 22, 23 years old. We just went out, had some drinks and shit. And the emotional intelligence, like I think in other countries, they raise their children to be husband and wives, like from a get-go. Me, I was raised to be an individual. My mom raised me to where I don't have to depend on nobody. And a lot of Black women are raised like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you raised to be independent and now you're trying to add someone else to your life, it's you butt heads. And so we don't figure shit out until our 30s and 40s, but you go to another, maybe even 50 sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You go to another country, they're ready to be wives and husbands in their 20s. Yeah. It's because from day one, they're taught what it means to be a man to a woman. I had to figure all that shit out, trial and error. And a lot of error.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. So when your mom said your type is not, did you see your type there on the show?
Yeah, I saw it was two women. It was two women that I could fathom myself with for sure.
Okay, you mind saying who those two women were?
Vanessa and Alexis.
Okay.
And I've been peeping you. I peeped the comments. I could explain Alexis a little more.
Please.
I can actually explain. I know them probably more than probably anybody else on the show. You know what I'm saying? I know them like on an intimate, mental, so I can speak to them fairly well. So
let's do it because Mo has asked questions. I think he asked Jonathan the other night about Alexis, and
I was just asking because they was on me and they made it seem like I was just saying compared to none of the women were unattractive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to be clear on that. She's not an unattractive woman.
Right.
I was with the rest, and it wasn't a body thing.
Right.
So she had said the body thing, and I was, but it was just more. I just thought of the other women there. Yeah. It was just something else. But explain to me what you saw and what you know.
Aesthetically, I understand 100% what you're saying in regards to. I know you're not saying body wise, but I mean that
kind of, sort of, yeah.
But not,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I would say one thing that I rock with Alexis on is that like you don't have to rebuild her perception on Black men.
Oh, that's deep. That is deep.
And for me, like some sisters that you meet, you having to make up for shit the other niggas done did. Yeah. What her daddy didn't do, what her brother didn't do, the other dude she done dated. So to start off on fair ground with someone who has a decent relationship with their father, that's like I don't have to prove myself for you to respect me. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to Alexis, I felt like she done been through shit with niggas and shit, of course. She probably done been cheated on, she done got to fight with niggas, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But it wasn't enough to outweigh how she feel about Black men. So I felt like she was the most protective of Black men throughout the process. And with me, like I was like some of the women on this process terrified me. You know what I'm saying? Just because you knew that any little thing that you did, can easily go back to the lounge and like shit. You know, the lounge may just be 5-6 people in the room, but in reality, it's 400,000-600,000 people in the room. So people, men and women, were loosely going back and talking shit. Shit that can damage your character. Shit that, you know, I got coworkers that watch this shit. So if somebody going there talking about Dominick grabbed my booty, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I got to go to work on Monday looking like an ass grabber.
Yeah. Right. That was a deep statement. He said, I did not have to rebuild her perception of Black men. That was really deep. That was really deep.
And for me, it's like the looks thing. Looks are important, but like my mom, she's been in my head. Like I'm very close to my mom, my dad, my whole family. My mom, she sees some of the choices that I make in women, and sometimes she can tell, like, Dominick, you like her because she got that fat ass. You know what I'm saying? So, and we have that. She keep it real with me, but she always drilled into my head, like, Dominick, them looks gonna fade at one point. You really want somebody who has a good spirit. And spirit wise, I felt like she's one of the type of women that you can get rich with. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of women want a nigga who got money. You know what I'm saying? But like, so they can spend your shit. But some women want somebody who's ambitious and they gonna build with you. She's one of those type of women that you can get rich with.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So shit like that means something to me.
No, that should mean that's important. Let me ask you this. You know, first of all, I love how honest and candid you're being. I think that's why we do this. We want women to hear and men to hear so people can learn and grow. So I appreciate you being honest. Let me ask you this though. When you see, I understand you said she was the most protective of Black men, but it also did seem like she was very defensive and not necessarily protective of sisterhood. Right. So what were your thoughts on the way things played out on the show between her and the other women?
I feel like it played out pretty accurately, you know, but shit, you got to think, if you're a woman in that situation, you're going to hate her. But if you're a man, you're going to be like, shit, there you go. Good job. You know what I'm saying? So shit, so yeah, from my perspective, I don't give a damn about her being a sisterhood because I'm a brother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so but I can understand how some women may not like shit like that. But she was the one that got pointed out on television for being messy. But in reality, it was a shitload of it. She was just the one that happened to have on camera. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it wasn't everybody. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a nice portion of the show was gossiping and sharing text messages, doing all that shit. She was just the one who didn't have no alliance with the women. So she kind of got picked on a little bit, but she deserved to get picked on because some of the shit she did wasn't cool.
Yeah. So but I asked Mo, we've talked about that before. Like, you know, do men, if you see bad behavior, it may not be towards you, but do you realize that bad behavior, I'm just asking, if a woman does not have good relationships with other women, and I'm not saying that she doesn't, I'm just saying if that were the case, if you saw a woman that had issues with other women consistently, when you're thinking about a woman that you would want to build a life with, you may have a daughter, right? And you want her to, I would assume that you would want a woman that carries herself as a lady in all situations, not just when she's around men.
Right. Yeah. So was that a question?
Yeah. So the question is, did that not come into your concern about character just because it wasn't towards you?
Yes, it did, but it wasn't really a concern. So me, I would like to say, and a lot of people who deal with me would say I have healing energy. You know, so for me, when I meet people, I see character flaws that I like and I dislike the same way I see shit about myself that I like and dislike. Okay. So I give people that same grace. So I don't have to like everything about you. But if I were dating Alexis, I would want to get down to the bottom of why she's like that, point that out to her and work with her on that versus saying she ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fucking with her because it may be something that happened to her that could probably explain some of the bullshit that she may have been doing. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather work through her on that versus just saying that she's damaged goods.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in reality, every woman that I meet, all my friends, like they got some shit that I could point out about them that I don't like. My best friend, a nigga do a lot of shit I don't like. Yeah. My mama do shit. I know she probably watch it. But mama, you do shit I don't like either. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still love them and I still nurture them and still try to build with them. Like I don't have to like you 100%.
Right. You won't like anybody 100%.
Not even myself.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's fair. That's fair. So what was it about? Oh, so you said the Alexis thing that you like. What was the thing that you saw in Vanessa?
For one, I say physically to start off, like she was the one out of all the women on the show, she was more my type physically. As far as just, I mean, you know, and for me, I don't go to a room and start picking out natural women, but my spirit does. Like this, my eye automatically, I don't even try to. You know what I'm saying? So she's just naturally a beautiful person. And so like first it was physical, then we sit down and talk, and I could tell that me and her were a lot alike. Like she's I'm from the hood, but I'm now more of a hippie. And she's from the burbs, and that she's more of a hippie. You know what I'm saying? So we both got that hippie spirit. Get up, go out of the country tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of, you know, don't got to be dressed up. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. The first conversation we had, she was like, "Shit, I normally don't wear shit like this." I'm like, "Shit, me neither." You know what I'm saying? So she's really a hipster spirit and a free spirit person. So energy wise, she matched me pretty much off the rip.
God,
that's fair. Now you mentioned the text and all the stuff, and that came to a head tonight. LaRon put everybody on blast tonight. Just call him the circus master.
Yeah.
And he put everybody on blast. So I have to ask you, Dominick, were you involved in TextGate?
Yeah, I was involved in TextGate. So just to elaborate on what happened versus what was portrayed. So like for me, I'm new to Dallas. So me coming to this experience, I'm looking for love, but I ain't got no friends here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, hopefully these some cool niggas is on the show. Maybe we can be friends too, even though that I am here to find love. You know what I'm saying? So the first day we meet, like everybody's cool, everybody's getting along, everybody cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying? So somebody decided to start a group chat. And in this group chat, we talking about our dates, we talking about who we like, and we just having normal conversation. And also within that text, we talked about who we wasn't really feeling and why we wasn't feeling them. You know what I'm saying? And so like the way it was spent tonight, I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I understood why LaRon did it. Initially, when I found out LaRon went back and started sharing that shit, I was upset with him. But after watching it tonight, I was like, damn, that was brilliant. You know, I was at home clapping the shit. I'm like, nigga, good job. You know what I'm saying? He threw me under the bus, but I'm like, shit, if throwing me under the bus can get you what you want, nigga, I hope you get it. Because if you don't get what you threw me under the bus for, you know, then it's gonna look like some sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? But I hope that him throwing everybody under the bus, because like those text messages, that shit happened within maybe the first 2 weeks of shooting. You know what I'm saying?
It was okay. What was not true? Because what we heard tonight and what LaRon has been saying, he said a little bit the last couple of episodes, is that it seems like there was a conspiracy, a Ready to Love Fort Worth conspiracy to kick Koshia off. Right. Why? Why Koshia first? I don't understand that.
So a conspiracy. When I think of conspiracy, I think of like government type shit. I think about China and Russia. I don't apply it to, but that's a really good term to use to manipulate what happened. But it's a Koshia. I never had nothing against Koshia. Like I never had anything for her either. Like Koshia is actually cool, and so I guess my reason for voting Koshia off initially was that for one, we didn't have any connection, and for two, from a distance, I felt like LaRon's he's a very loving and giving person. And he's one of those type of dudes that people think they can use him because he's the type of dude that he get up and make macaroni and cheese in the morning and shit, and all his friends come over and they taking shots of Casamigos, and he's one of those type of people that I feel like people think they can use him, but he's not really a sucker. You know what I'm saying? So LaRon one of the type of dudes, so where if you think you're gonna try to play him and get over on him, he'll totally flip on you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I felt like even when even watching him on television, Koshia locked in on him thinking that like this the nigga I can get. You know, this nigga gonna be goddamn it, you know, paying my car note and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he gives off like he's bubbly and shit, but then he got another side to him that's unbubbly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, I genuinely felt like he was being a little manipulated. And I think he sees that now, but at the time, I felt like he was probably getting played. And that had nothing to do with me, but I genuinely didn't have no interest in it.
Yeah.
She never did. For me to conspire against Coach Sheila, I guess my question would be like, why would I okay, I think he said Will manipulated us. And I'm like, okay, maybe Will is that powerful of a guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, Will he's a good dude. You know, I fuck with everybody, but like, I just didn't understand like the reason why people were voting Mika off initially is only because she didn't want no more children.
Yeah.
And like this particular season, we had guys that were a little bit younger than some other seasons.
Right. And it's fair because when you have the women that are at a different place in life, that comes up all the time. And I think they have to address that because that doesn't have anything to do with your character. That's just where you are in life. Mika has 2 children.
Right.
Doesn't want to do it again. Right. And that's fair. But for somebody that's coming in like yourself or LaRon with no children, like, you know,
right.
That's
now,
not.
I will say, sorry to cut you off. I will say that it may have been personal between her and one of the guys in the chat. But that was only one person. Everybody else is like the no kids shit. You know what I'm saying? And that was just something that was a hell no from the get-go for a lot of people. And you not wanting to have any more kids don't make you a bad person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the dudes here this particular season happened to be a little bit younger and hadn't had their kids yet. So you got dudes in their early to mid-30s who want children dating someone in their mid-30s who talking about hell no.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't a mesh from day one. And even when me and Mika had that moment, you know, on the bridge and shit, I felt like I didn't even, out of all the women I asked about children, so I don't think I asked her, did she want any more children? She was probably one of the few people that I do not remember asking. And so like I found out from the other guys that she had her tubes tied and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but shit, shout out to everybody.
Well, let's just go back a little bit further because we saw one of the viral clips, probably the biggest viral clip this season was April and Lamar. And I want to ask, what was your opinion on that? Because of course we saw the edited clip, but it was kind of hard not to make an assumption because the clip was so brutal. So
I was right there.
You said what?
I was right next to them when that shit happened. So
okay.
I'm having a conversation with Laylin, like a lovely conversation with Laylin. Laylin cool as hell. So I got to go to the bathroom and I see them niggas arguing. And literally they start arguing within 2 to 3 minutes of sitting down.
Wow.
And in my mind, I'm like, how in the fuck do you argue with somebody that you just met a minute ago? Then I'm thinking like, what? Then now I'm thinking like, damn, where am I? What have I done? You know what I'm saying? I'm thrown off. I'm completely shocked. I come out the bathroom, they still going back and forth. And one thing I noticed, the cameras rushed to see them argue. Like that's the shit they want to see. And immediately after them going back and forth, they bring April to me. And they interrupt me and Laylin's conversation to bring April to me so I can soothe her. And calm down. Then at that moment, I'm like, I'm the therapist nigga on the show. At that point, I'm like, okay, this is who they saw. This is the character because they can't have 10 dudes like me on the show. The show gonna be boring as hell. You know, I'm on the show calling people king and queen and shit. They don't want to see that shit. Right. They need me as a character. They need niggas like LaRon. They need niggas like they need different type of people.
Right.
Different energy. Yeah. And so then that's when I found out, this is who I'm supposed to be on the show. So even if I'm on some bullshit, they gonna keep my character intact a little bit to make me look like I'm like a woosah type person.
Yeah. But what did you think of the actual exchange? And I think it's bigger than just the conversation. The reason it went viral was because it's bigger than just April and Lamar. So, you know, I obviously have a book titled "Dear Alpha Female, It's Not Him, It's You." So I talk a lot about women that are career driven, successful, and have a hard time transitioning that success to the dating world. And I can talk about it because I was that person for a long time, still probably deal with it sometimes. But And then also there's the conversation on social media of men that are very feel that type of woman is very off-putting. And I feel like when we saw those two characteristics, those two personalities erupted like that, because April mentioned that she had, she was a doctor. I don't care about what degrees he immediately took that as defensive. And then she immediately took the attitude of, he said, well, who are you? I'm such and such and such. And she leaned on that. So what's your perspective just on that dynamic of women that may be extremely successful? Do they make, do you see women like that as a good potential partner? And if so, what's that balance?
Okay. So I'm going to ask me that question again in like 30 seconds. So basically, I don't think that's what happened in that particular instance.
Okay.
I don't think Lamar was really attracted to April for real. Because, like one thing about men, niggas give grace when they think somebody fine.
Yes,
so when you see somebody thick with big breasts and, nice skin and all this shit, niggas would he would have been like, yeah. So he would have been answering all them questions, I think, if he was really attracted to it. and it's the same way when women think a dude have some bread or got money, they let niggas slide with shit. As you're seeing this particular season, like shit ain't gotta make sense if a nigga got money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They'll figure that shit out on their own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in that particular instance, I just don't think he was really that attracted to her. And so therefore, the way he responded to her was different than how he would have responded to someone else. But I could be wrong because he's his own man. But to double back and speak on what you said, me personally, I've dated, especially when I was in my younger, like in my 20s, I've dated women who made much more money than me. And as long as it don't bother them, it don't bother me. I've been, and not to bring up Justin, I think very highly of Justin. Justin, like a really good brother, vulnerable brother, and masculine brother. So with Justin, I've been hearing a lot about stay within your tax bracket and shit.
Because of that scene with Maya, yeah.
Right. That only applies if you're a man, because women date niggas all the time. They got more money than them. And nobody, I ain't heard tax bracket. When everybody went to Chad's house, nobody said y'all should stay out y'all tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? But now that it's a man who may potentially be dating someone, so there is a double standard, but I believe in double standards. And it's perfectly okay. Like I've dated women who, and I thought I was successful like 5-6 years ago. I'm thinking like I'm making some cool little paper. But I'm dating a chick who may make $300,000 a year. She straight out told me like, shit, dating down. And dating down is so many facets to dating down. You can date down character-wise, looks-wise. It's not just financially, but when it's with women, they are specifically referring to finances. And so now you got women who are making more money. Women still make less money than men. So regardless of what people think. But then you got all these women who are very ambitious and don't want to date someone who makes less. To me, that'll have your ass lonely. You'll end up by yourself, with that shit, because you can have a perfectly good man with good character who's gonna treat you right, be a good father. Like that shit need to be valued a little more than what is being valued now.
Right.
Yeah. What about the lifestyle difference though? Because I agree with that. And thank you guys. We got a good group here watching live. If you guys are watching this on the replay, we are talking with Dominick from Ready to Love. We're having a great conversation. It's great to have a brother that has a great perspective and is ready to be honest. So make sure you go ahead and like the chat. If you are in here, we got 350 people on tonight. Make sure you go ahead and like the chat. But let me ask you this, Dominick, on just staying on that point right there, because I talked to a lot of my girlfriends are in that position, right? They're they're high earners, and they are, I would say there's the double standard is with looks and money, right? So females have to look a certain way. You can have a woman that is, what men may consider unattractive, but has a lot of money, and men are not breaking their necks. She can be working at the Waffle House and be fine, and they're breaking their necks. And then women can have a guy that is, not necessarily attractive, all the characteristics they say they don't like, but if he's, earning 7 figures, all of a sudden he's beautiful and he's attractive. And then, somebody that at this point, you can be 45 and fine, but if you don't have any money, you're probably not going to have any women, or at least not any women past, a certain amount of time. So when it comes to lifestyle, you have these women. I have a girlfriend that makes around $350 a year.
Yeah.
And she's like, I like to go to Dubai once a year for 2 weeks. She goes out of the country all the time like you do.
Yeah.
How would her lifestyle, you do have to take into consideration, they may not have much in common. If she's talking to a guy that makes around 60 grand a year and is employed, it may be difficult for their schedules to mesh.
Yeah. My thing is, do you want Dubai or do you want a nigga? You know what I'm saying? So for me, like my last girlfriend, I had to make that decision too.
Yeah.
I made much more money than she did. I had to, if I couldn't afford for both of us to travel, then I had to sit my ass down somewhere and got them to look at Travel Channel. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to, what do you want? Do you want a relationship or do you want to be in Dubai? You know what I'm saying? Because I heard they peeing on people in Dubai. It's dirty over there. Yeah. So like you want to go to Dubai more than you want to do, then that's an issue with you. If you have a good man is every day. A trip to Dubai is 1 week. So then I would say her value system is probably needs some alignment.
That could be. I would just play devil's advocate because I've seen it. There are a lot of times a man may be
insecure.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say insecure. Uncomfortable, right? Like if he's in a situation where he's unable to provide at the level that she's been used to. A lot of times it's not necessarily the woman. It could actually absolutely be him not feeling like he is her Superman, right? Because he can't do, a lot of times you can defeat yourself before. Just like a woman, if she is dating a man who she knows gets a lot of women, she may, her uncomfortability with his lifestyle and the fact that all these women are, she could defeat herself before. He's like, I'm not even trying to do that. She just keeps thinking I'm cheating. She's constantly thinking that. And I think in the same token, men can be like that, at least from what I've seen. Well, you probably just doing this and you probably don't want that. And it's like, that's not even what I'm thinking. That's on you,
Right. That's facts. I would just say don't date them type of niggas. Like go get you a gentleman that's a little more comfortable. Like for me, I'm totally comfortable with I do well for myself, but I'm totally comfortable with a woman doing better than me. Like what a woman makes don't make me feel like any less or more of a man. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I don't give it. She can make $10 million. Like now, one thing I'm not gonna do though, I'm not gonna live too far below my means. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't finna take me out of my condo and go to a mansion and I can't pay nothing but the light bill. We gonna have to simmer it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I will say that she just shouldn't be dating a dude who doesn't feel secure. Like, cause like you got niggas who rich who insecure, and you got broke niggas who insecure. You got broke secure. Just get you a man who's comfortable where he's at, and who's not gonna make you feel bad for being successful.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's real. And they do exist.
Facts, big facts. Shit, I might be one of them, but shit, I done dated a young lady who, shit, my late 20s, she was doing very well. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna just be transparent. I had moments of insecurity while dating her because I wasn't where I wanted to be at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I was in the moment like, damn, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's just because I wasn't, I was still in my process and I wasn't secure with it. But once I got to where I wanted to be, like, shit, I'm happy with where I am. So what a woman makes ain't gonna knock me off at.
That's the biggest thing. Maybe that's the biggest thing is that a lot of times a man specifically is going to be the man that the best version of himself when he's where he's supposed to be.
Big facts.
Yeah,
that's facts. And I can attest to that because I have moments of this one lady in particular who I fumbled in my 20s, and it was because I wasn't where I needed to be. And it's not even financially. Sometimes it's like you ain't got anything out your system yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some dudes, 27, 28, ain't never even had a threesome before. They like, and you about to get married, but in the back of your mind, you like, nigga, I want 2 before I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta, as a man, you do have to try to fulfill what you need to fulfill first, so you can walk into like how Tom Brady retired. You just walk off like, I did everything I was supposed to do, baby. I'm here.
And it's called your 20s. Get it out, Joe. That's what your 20s are for. Your 20s are for you. Get it all them threesomes and all that nasty stuff out.
Nah, I'm gonna up the age by 5 more years. 35. See, I do agree with you, your 20s, but like sometimes as a man, you can't even get access to everything that you can get access to until you become who you are. And men are not becoming who they are in their 20s. Men are getting into a groove in their mid 30s and 40s. And that's why you see so many niggas waiting. You know what I'm saying? Because they know like women don't value, like say this season, for instance, the most desired man on this particular season is Chaz.
Hands down.
Hands down. You know what I'm saying? Niggas salute. You know what I'm saying? So, but with Chaz appears to be a finished product. You know what I'm saying? So Chaz may not have been a finished product at 35 or 40, but he is now. And then whenever you get to where you're going, then you can have motion. You got a nice house, nigga had throw pillars and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you're gonna get your motion.
No, that's super true. And I was saying a couple shows ago, like women don't want the men in the race; they want the man at the finish line.
It would been like that.
But the problem is they think the man that's in the race should be ready because she's ready,
right?
And they're mad at him. And I'm like, but he ain't at the. You don't want the man in the race. Well, you need to get. He's trying to, but then when you put him in a situation where he's, well, I don't want him, or he's not this, and you can't be mad. He's not there.
It's so funny you said that because it's been going on forever. You know what I'm saying? So me, I grew up in the hood. I went to Nashville's equivalent of Lean On Me High School.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I went to one of them type of high schools and niggas selling crack, got pistols, you know what I'm saying? All that, my peers or whatever. And like the niggas who was selling dope, who had $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 pulling up in high school with spinners, they had more women than the men who were studying. And so then women will wait for you to get your shit together. So women go from messing with dope boys, then athletes and then if you don't get your shit together until you 40 or 47 like Chaz, that's when you're gonna have your most options. And so you got niggas who spending 10, 15 years building themselves. Now they're desirable, but then by the time they become desirable, they're bitter. And that's how you build niggas like Kevin Samuels. Like people who done always had motion don't be as bitter. You know what I'm saying? But once somebody done turned 42, now I got a $700,000 house. Now you want me, I'm gonna make your ass work. And that's why I'm not saying Chad's probably always been a dope dude, but you do have dudes that are in that position and they're gonna play around. They know that why you're there because they've had the same character for 20 years and they couldn't even get text back.
I know a few.
Yeah.
Know a few of them.
That is I've never heard it referred to like that with men being bitter, but I think that's true because it's like, back then didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Y'all up on me. And now I don't want you. Let me ask both you guys something because this is a riveting conversation. I'm loving it. Mo sent me, I don't know if you saw this clip, Dominick. I wish I could pull it up. If I need to, I may, where Mike Epps, who is 53, was saying that he had never treated a woman right 100% in his life. Right. And he said he wanted to do that. He said he didn't, when he first got on, he had a lot of survivor's remorse. So he was trying to be cool with his friends. Right. When you come, a lot of us as African-Americans come from, which is the majority of this audience. Shouts out to those of y'all that hang out with us, our allies that are here. But for the most part, most of us are people of color, and most of us are not from, second and third generation wealth. We're just trying to build, coming from struggle. So that creates a lot of trauma. So you talk about someone that grew up in the hood in Indiana and then, was around dope boys and all this stuff. He gets on, gets famous, and then it's like, oh, wow, I have all this at my fingertips. It really isn't surprising for me. I was glad that he was that candid. But I would say from a woman's perspective, when you hear a man say at 53 that he really wants to treat a woman well at this point, that don't really sound like a good deal. I had a girlfriend that told me that this guy, he was 60, and he was a doctor. He was very well off. And he said, you know, he wanted to get married to her. And she was like, why would I marry you? She was like, you have not invested in any, you've been playing all these women. You've left all these women hurt. And now you're 60, you know, the machine probably don't work like it used to. I'm good. Like, I don't, you know, at this point, you can't go back and do that. And plus that's a lot of negative karma where you've hurt people and used people all that time. What would you both say to the fact that in all this growing and maturing, a lot of men are hurting a lot of women and in the process, and you've left a lot of negative things in your wake. And now all of a sudden you want people to be excited when you get ready. Do you think it works like that?
If you don't mind, Mo, I'm gonna chime in.
I got you. Go ahead, brother.
So this is what I love about what you guys do, because you have, like, you, Christal, you're on this side of the perspective, and Mo has this perspective, and it kind of, those two together kind of brings a picture together. So what you heard as a woman, you were able to identify with the hurt that men have caused, maybe with you historically. With me, I heard that he said 100%. He didn't say that he mistreated women. He said that he didn't treat women 100% to the capacity that he wants to. And if we're going to be real, as mothers, as fathers, as brothers, we haven't been 100% is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even as a mother, you know what I'm saying? My mother, you know, she may be here right now. I don't think my mom can say I did the 100% job at being a mother. She did great, but great can be 87%. She produced some decent, some good kids or whatever. But I don't think he was saying that he mistreated women his whole life. He said 100%. That doesn't mean that he wasn't a good man to women. And that doesn't.
He did say that he had been cheating on her. He was like, I ain't been faithful. I cheating on him and not really not being there. He said he was, and you know, Mike Epps is funny. So he was like cheating on them, not being their best friend, not being present. But I do also understand that when you grow up in the hood around dope boys, being faithful is not something that you're taught is the right thing to do. So I have heard a lot of men say, even like Love is Blind, we've been talking about the guy on there, his dad was cheating on his mom. Dad took him with him when he was cheating on his mom. So I agree. There's, you know, no one is 100%. Nobody's 100%, but he did specify what he was not doing right. And I've heard a lot of men say, I've never really been faithful. I've never been able to really be faithful. I want to be faithful to a woman for once.
Can I say this? A lot of us never grew up never seeing a man being faithful. Right. And I'm not saying that's an excuse, but I said on the show before, like, I was never taught how to treat a lady. I mean, women in general, but never how to court them, I had to learn on the fly and figure it out. You know, I was never taught by a man. Everything that I learned how to treat a woman was from a woman. It wasn't by a man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I think that's wrong. I think that we really, really need to connect with. So if you're around men and you know, and they're unfaithful and, you know, and they're just growing, you know, I just think we're young and we're trying to figure it out. And I think, and then him coming into money at a certain point and having access to a bunch of women, you know, and I'm not saying he was right for what he was doing through all these years, but the man was bumping his head and he's trying to be a better person. I don't think you can knock anybody for that. You know, I like the fact that he was transparent up there. I think his message got misconstrued.
I think so too.
As his wife goes, and that whole thing got a little touchy. I think people kind of took it the wrong way. I think I know what he was trying to say.
I think so too. And I love that he apologized because
and he's still apologized.
I love that.
And to do that. I respect that.
Yeah.
But the man's he bumped his head. Me and Mike Epps is like 2 days apart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, both Scorpios, both 53. You know,
well, he also acknowledged, you know, he was on drugs for a while, right? And so
niggas will blame anything. You know, niggas outside. Niggas, if I was on drugs, baby, you know, I was drinking. You know, like in reality, men it don't matter what you're taught. You can be taught by textbooks. Some of that shit, and I hate to say it, especially on this platform, but some of it is there's some instinct involved too, and that women don't understand. Like for me, I'm not a cheater, but most of why I'm not a cheater is because I know how to keep my ass single until I'm not ready. I've traditionally been more of a single person, but when I'm in relationships, I'm not a cheater. But as soon as I feel like I'm going to start wanting somebody else, and I just quit fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not a cheater. I quit fucking with you. But some of it is instinctive. Women have instincts that we don't always understand, and so do we. And I don't think we're animals, even though we want to think as people we're better than pit bulls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we're really animals, and some of it is instinct. Some of it is instinctive.
No, I agree. It has to be true because we see a lot of behavior that, like, you can't. To me, I learned I can't say that men are bad because if all of them are doing the same thing, they can't all be bad. So some of it has to be. The same thing with women. Like we talk, it's like, oh, they talk all the time. Well, maybe that's just women. Maybe it's not just, you know what I mean? It's just there are certain things that we just have to agree. Let's talk a little bit more about what's happening on the show. Okay. First of all, were you disappointed when you left the show?
For about an hour and a half. It was genuine. It was genuine. Like shit, they caught a real face. And it wasn't like it was I was egotistic in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not an egotistic person, but in my mind, I'm like, how the fuck you gonna put me out over these niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, so my ego was hurt. Yeah. But it was only for the duration of the night. I went home. They were so nice how they deleted my ass off the show. Like they got a restaurant like a block over from where I stay. You know what I'm saying? I stay in downtown Dallas. So I walked home. It was a short walk. I ain't had to drive to Fort Worth and shit. Like, so they were so nice about how they let my ass go. I really couldn't be too mad. So, I called my mom and my little sister and told them, express my frustration. But I woke up happy because, like that. The process it's a really thorough process. So yeah, that was my first weekend that I was actually able to sleep in. Plus I've been traveling. I had missed 2 or 3 episodes or whatever. So I was tired anyway. You know what I'm saying? So shit, I woke up the next day. I was happy that my ego was gone.
Yeah. That is very honest.
Yo, you was like, you was like, for real?
Yeah.
Reaction. And then telling me you walked home. The first thing that goes to my mind, anybody can YouTube this or whatever, it's the Incredible Hulk. It's a series. Come on. And they used to play this sad music when he was walking away. So as soon as you said that, that's the first thing that just came up.
I mean, I might have to look that shit up because that's probably a bit descriptive. It's probably what happened. Because now my ego kicked in because like I'm not an egotistic person on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. But I still have it in me.
Yeah.
I still what the fuck, it still come out instinctively. How the fuck, And so, like, for me, I got deleted off the show, and I never got any real feedback as far as, like, you need to do this. So, like, when, and shout out to Maya. When Maya was deleting me, she started off giving me some advice. And initially, I'm like, hell yeah, I can work on that. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm being accountable and shit. Mid-conversation, she doubled down and was like, but we still don't feel like, I'm like, look, I just told you I was going to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, I'm sitting there like, now I'm like, oh, they about to delete me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then my ego kicked in, like, and the first thing I thought of was I ain't going out like no bitch. You know what I'm saying? So like my ego kicked in and that's when I was saying shit that I really didn't mean. Like I ain't changing nothing. Yeah. I was changing shit at first. When she first told me, I'm like, okay, cool, I can make adjustments.
Yeah.
All I could think about, my niggas about to clown me back home. And I shouldn't have been thinking like that, but it was natural for me.
Yeah, no, that is fair and honest. I love it. Because I think first of all, everybody has an ego. People talk about men's egos. Women have an ego too.
Okay.
Which is what I think. This is my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think. At this point, I feel like it's ego going on with these ladies. There is no way that you are all going after the same man on this trip. They're trying to see who's going to be able to pull him from the other ladies. And there's this thing where men say, I've heard it Moe said it to me. Some of my other guy friends have said it to me. Y'all just want the one everybody else has. Chris Rock has this saying, and I called you and said this to you the other day, Mo. He said, a man will see his friend that has a good woman, and he'll say, man, I need to get me a woman like that. She's a good woman. A woman will see her friend with a good man and say, I need that man. And I like how he is. Let me take that man. And I feel like at this point, what is happening to where even Patrice, who to me, it doesn't even make sense.
That was a little.
It makes sense to me.
It does? Okay,
Yeah.
you can give us some clarity.
Yeah.
So Chaz to me played the game damn near immaculately, at least for the first 7-8 episodes. So one thing that he did was he invited the young ladies over to the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like if Chaz invited the women over to his house and that nigga had roaches and shit and old boxes of pizza laying around, then you probably wouldn't be. They'd be like, Chaz, we're worried about his stability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in this particular instance, like, you know, women and Chaz, and not to throw him under the bus, Chaz knows what women want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So that's a certain level that I don't like going, because I don't like to build women up just to drop them down, because that's kind of how you get motherfuckers popping up at your house and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when women feel violated, they feel like they can violate you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like Chaz played the game right. He showed equal amount of attention, was a little bit. Mm-hmm. Brought him over to the house, and seeing a house, he's already a good looking brother. You know what I'm saying? And you combine that with telling women what they want to hear.
And muscles.
That nigga's a hurricane at this point.
And he also has muscles. I do want to point that out. That I just want to point it out that women, we do appreciate. Gentlemen, never just assume that we enjoy the being taken care of, but when you also have a nice set of shoulders, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. But
if you put shoulders and he lived in the ghetto, they've been like fucking shoulders.
You're right. You're right.
He brought them to a nice manicured house. His cleaner had been through there. The pillars.
But when you attach the shoulders on that,
oh yeah, that nigga. He
is damn near immortal.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, because a lot of men will let themselves go physically if they have money. Can we just talk about that?
And that he didn't do, because he's in great shape.
Yeah, so I'm saying that when you got money and he's intelligent,
then the words is really
all of this.
I was messed up on the sunset myself. My husband was like, that ain't even, he just running game. And I was like, that's not game.
And I'm over here like, I can't compete with Chad. Chad's talking about sunsets. I'm like, I got some hookah at the house. You know, some head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some Hennessy, like that shit. I always see a sunset.
I was like, girl. Now I will also say this. You're right. At this point, Chaz is immortal.
Hey, you hit bad boy.
He's immortal. But I do think the ladies all doing that. There's another very important piece to that puzzle. Not only is he got all these things, but initially it was kind of set up to where it looked like Vanessa was the untouchable, right? Because it was like Chaz and Vanessa, they have this, and I feel like the other women saw that and were like, I want that.
That's just the TV, because she wasn't untouchable. She was touchable.
Okay.
But I think at this point, it's not about getting Chaz. It's about, I don't want her to get Chaz.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I just don't see Patrice and Chaz don't make sense to me. Rashina and Chaz don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
But to go back to the temptation part, and we were saying, like, when things are in front of you, like, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw Mika in them jean shorts, I was like, I didn't know she was holding. Like, I didn't know.
We've been telling how do you not know?
You gotta start paying more attention. Look at the shadows when she walked by.
I saw a little bit.
Y'all looking at shadows?
Yeah, the shadows be thick.
Oh wow.
I saw time. I was like, oh,
wild.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, Mika is a very attractive woman, and she'll make a nigga like not. She almost made me go from 2 to 10 kids to 2 to 10 gerbils or some shit. I damn near switch, fucking with Mika. You know what I'm saying?
But I think biggest thing is that even in Chaz's situation, you're in this. I think is the long game will be Vanessa to me. The long game.
But is he playing the long game? He is eating strawberries out of Rasheena's mouth at this point.
In that house, in that situation, you got the short game that's in front of you that's looking dead right and ready to go now. And it's like that puts you in the weird, like they ready to go now. He putting cherries in people's cleavage and all this crazy stuff. Right. I mean, you know, and Vanessa ain't doing that. She's reserved. You're gonna take time, but this is ready to go right now. What you gonna do? And that's a tough spot for a brother to be in, especially if you ain't mastered your desires yet.
Right. And don't sleep on Vanessa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope she don't get mad at me about this, but Vanessa, Vanessa is very conscious. She's a very conscious woman. And one thing that I loved about her is that she showed up on this experience with her son in mind the whole time. You know what I'm saying? She knew her son was going to be watching. Yeah. So like as reserved as she looks on television, that may not, I ain't going to say it is, I ain't going to say, like who Vanessa is as a person is not who she is on TV. Like
she can be multi-layered, but she's multi-layered, but she knows that this is a
son's watching.
Yeah.
The same way I know my coworkers is watching, so I can't just be grabbing people's arms and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept that shit in mind when I was in the show, because for one, like in my mind, I was like, okay, none of these women may be for me on the show. Hopefully they are, but maybe not. But that doesn't mean, I don't think people realize how many women watch the show. Like it's damn near 2% of all Black women in America watch the show. Yeah. And that ain't even counting bootleg. Like half the motherfuckers probably got bootleg. You know what I'm saying? It's a shit. A lot of Black women watch the show. So if you come on the show, you don't act like a fucking idiot. Not only would you potentially get a woman on the show, it'll open you up to thousands of women outside the show. But dudes who be on the show, they out here playing games and conspiracy theories and shit. I'm like, nigga, look, you know somebody, look, your wife may be at home watching. Yeah. Just be yourself, be confident, and everything is gonna fall in your favor. But you'll play yourself. And now when you see a fine woman in the streets, you like, I remember you just suck ass.
Yeah. You the clown from the show. That's Mo has been saying that the whole point. I mean, you know, it made me think when I saw, and I'm not saying anything negative about Rashina, or I'm just talking about life. It's funny because if you're not a woman that's a little bit more aggressive and sensually aggressive, it could be rough out here. Like the competition, they'll up the ante. So Rashina upped the ante. And that Jasmine Sullivan song said, "Girl like me, I you know, what do you do? What do you do?" The other girls win a lot of times. So it was interesting, but and I know this could be my bias as a woman, because when you see a man like Chaz that says stuff about the sunsets and all this, you don't think that he's trying to be having his head in somebody's chest eating fruit.
Nah, it depends on where you're from. You know,
that's what I'm saying. I guess everybody, Mo's like, we all want to do that. It's just some know how to speak a certain, but everybody is thinking the same thing. We saw that tonight.
Yeah, nah, like it depends on a woman. Some women be hip to it, but like square chick, that's some shit that like square women fall for. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get really some chicks who really on game, they be like, nigga, get shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is what they just fell for that shit. I was watching, I was impressed by it. I'm like, nigga, I want to go to the sunset too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what song he got that from? I know that's from
Carl Thomas.
Out chat.
Carl Thomas.
See? There you go.
Let's say it was a song. I'm gonna tell you what else that women that so I would say Chaz is definitely that the dude that has the game down, but LaRon has got some game as well. Because when he cornered Maya tonight and was just staring in her eyes with that man, you need to be my girl. I was like that, and you saw how she just looked like a deer in headlights. Yeah, that too is pressure.
And he meant that shit. Like
he laid it on thick, boy.
Yeah, he laid it on thick. And LaRon, I got to give him. I actually thought I was going to be upset with him watching this show because he did throw me under the bus.
Yes, he did.
Now that I seen how the whole game plan worked and shit, I was like, nigga, bravo, good job, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be mad at first because I was like, how you gonna put me in this? How you gonna really to be? I believe in being confident. Yeah. I believe like if you can't get her at your own merit, nigga, she ain't meant to be.
Right.
You know
A lot of men can't though. A lot of men have to do that.
Drop an atomic bomb. But I feel like he had that in his back pocket because that was some shit that really happened 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Some shit that he kept, like the group chat had been dead. You know what I'm saying? So like that's some shit he kept in his back pocket. He was like, nigga, I can't wait to use this one. And like he got into the right space to where he needed it, because if he didn't do that, Maya still would have had a reason to pick Will as his first. Nobody was gonna pick LaRon but Maya. He got Maya to flip with that bomb he dropped, and I was watching at home like, good job, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had to throw nobody under the bus. He did. But he felt like he did.
Let me ask both you guys, because this was another thing I felt I was kind of thrown off by, because it just sounded bad. It could be true, but sometimes the truth does not always sound great to hear, right? So when the ladies decided that the things that Will had going on in his life with his father and whatever else that he shared with them personally, for that to be used as a reason to kick him off the show, I thought that was crazy. And I was like, I wonder how men are receiving that, because I don't think it would be the same if a woman said she was going through something. But when he said that he was going through things, and they were like, and Mika was like, I can't handle all that. I ain't trying to handle all that. And other women were like, nope, me either.
And this is why niggas be lying.
That's regular, Christal. We been knew that. That's how it go. So when we be telling you, you be like, no, that's real. That's almost regular.
Yeah. And the thing about it, for me, like it happened the whole season. You know what I'm saying? So like for instance, and shout out to all the brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, DeMonte, for instance, he told her about the credit situation. And the credit situation to be thrown up in the lounge. I'm like, damn, like I've had bad credit before.
Everybody has.
It take 3 months. You can fix your credit in 3 to 6 months.
Everybody has had bad credit.
You don't say you're not gonna choose a lifelong partner because 3 to 6 months. It's so easy to fix your credit.
Yeah.
In most cases, you know what I'm saying. Then you got Will sleeping. What was the nigga sleeping at? Sleeping on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he said this shit to her on the phone, and said that shit to her on the phone, but that shit ended up in the lounge. So now to 500,000 people, 250 on cable, other 250 on bootleg. Now everybody know I'm on the floor when this is a private conversation.
Yeah.
So then it come to me. I'm not applying enough pressure. I'm scared to apply pressure. You know, because if I tell one of y'all something about me,
right,
I'm afraid that shit gonna end up, I'd rather just shut the fuck up, boring, shy. Yep, exactly. I'm shy, I'm boring, whatever. But you ain't finna be telling motherfuckers I sleep on the floor, even if I ain't got no mattress.
Yeah. Why did he tell? What was going on with that? Do you know what the backstory to that was? Because he refuted it. Alexis definitely outed the situation and told him who said it. But I that's good that you pointed that out, because I didn't even connect all those things. That's definitely not fair. And I think it's crazy, because I guarantee you, if we checked everybody's credit on the show, he's not the only one that probably has credit struggles.
No, DeMonte.
Yeah, I'm sure if we check everybody else's, I'm sure everybody else don't have an 800 credit score on the Ready to Love.
They shouldn't have said that shit either.
No, they should not have.
No, DeMonte shouldn't have mentioned that shit. You know, I understand why he did, but like, that's not a first date conversation. Hey, my credit, fuck that. You know, I'm gonna say that motherfucker until we about to get married. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. That is definitely not. That should not come up in conversations at all. But yeah. So when you heard that said tonight against William, what were your thoughts, or did you kind of know that was coming?
I didn't know. Well, I knew that was coming because I kind of knew what happened after I got deleted. But I would say that type of shit was going on pretty much throughout the whole process. And I know that it's a popular phrase to protect Black women. And I personally believe in protecting Black women so much to the point to where in every lounge I was in, I never said anything bad about any other women. Even when I was voting them off, I'd be like, man, she's dope, man, she's beautiful.
You did always say
that. But she's just not for me. I would like, if somebody not for you, you ain't got to go into this nigga sleeping on the floor. He ain't got no pillows. You know, so you ain't got to go into all this extra shit. Just say you're not feeling them. You know what I'm saying? Even with Mika, for instance, you know, me and Mika, like, shout out to Mika, assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying? But like, even when she was saying like, Dominicks normally not my type, just leave it at that. You ain't got to say a nigga short, You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this saying nigga ain't your type. You know what I'm saying? Then you got everybody thinking I'm 5'5". You know what I'm saying? And like, with me, I didn't do her like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just kept it. I protected Mika heavily. I protected Mika more than she even know on the show. You know, for the fact that I dated her the most, I probably knew a little more about her than some of the other guys. And I knew enough to tarnish her. But I would go in the lounge and be like, man, she's dope, she's cool, she's funny, because she is. But I never had nothing. But you can put somebody at your bottom and not have to say,
there you go,
a pervert.
Yeah, no, you're right. But that's class, and that's
class. And that's what we didn't have enough of on this show. And so me coming up, like, you know, I'm from around the way, genuinely a participant from around the way, but I have class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I keep in mind that I'm dealing with, this woman has a brother, this woman has I'm thinking about Mika's son when I'm out on dates with her. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping all that shit intact. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I don't want her son to see me being disrespectful to her. But a lot of the women on the show, they didn't show that same courtesy. And some of the men didn't either. Like, not to let the men slide. Some of the men got into the lounges, and I need to get some water real quick. My mouth drying them up. But some of the women on the show didn't keep it in mind either. So
protect us too, but let's protect each other.
Yeah, we should. I'm not mad at that. We should be protecting each other. And I do think that a lot of times it seems like when the women they are just ready to just dissect and tear down the man. It does seem like that. It definitely does.
Make somebody not apply pressure.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm like, shit, pressure looks like a 6 months in jail for Me Too shit. And it looks like embarrassing me at work. Now I got to walk around at work as to touch somebody's elbows or some shit.
That's right. But I don't know. It bothered me because the credit is something you can fix. If Will did sleep on the floor, I mean, the next day, you finances can change, right? But if someone's parent is going, that's a whole different type of thing to use against somebody. I felt like I didn't like that. I felt, that was crazy to me. I don't even understand why production thought that was a good idea to use, because people that are in their mid 30s, maybe not, as you get into your mid 40s and beyond, everybody is, that's the cycle of life. Like, that's not something that should be used to me. Yeah. And if you do feel like that, it shouldn't have been used to me as a reason to send them. Just say, it could be the 3 kids. I don't know, say something else, but to use somebody's pain from their that was not, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I hated that some of the women chose to do that, because it's like, we talk all this shit about Black men being more vulnerable, but you see this is a prime local case to where vulnerability works against you. Credit, sleeping on the floor. Now, like, and then you wonder why so many niggas going to the club and they flying and they front like they got more than what they got, because they know the illusion of that is going to attract women. Right. So like, you can't have both. If we're going to be vulnerable, give us safe spaces for that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And that's and we got to do the same. I'm not just saying, like, we have to. One thing that I think women would maybe consistently say about me is that they can be themselves around me. So I try to be a safe space for women. That's why I'm not downing any other women, even though I know all kind of shit about them. I know shit that could have got a lot of the women eliminated.
Yeah,
I shut up because I want to be a safe space.
Yeah,
and I wish they would have had that mentality.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. I think they did fumble Dom Marriott, but I also think that do you have anything that you wish you did differently on the show? Any regrets or anybody you wish that you had spent more time talking to?
I try to keep it so real that it made me fake. And what I mean by that is I'm not in real life, I'm not an all or nothing person. Usually when I go out, I meet women in a different country, wherever I'm at, I try to, there's a place for you in my life. It ain't always got to be romantic. It can be networking. It can be sexual. It can be a lot of different shit. On this particular show, I approached it like looking for like a wife versus looking for somebody who I'm just going to be cool with. But in real life, like, I would have been cool with all the women. I would have been flirting with them. I would have been talking shit. But just for the fact that this was specifically for dating, I didn't entertain a lot of women just because I didn't want to waste their time. But if I met most of those women out in real life, we would have been cool. I genuinely believe that. But I only wanted to focus on the 1 or 2 women that I could actually fathom myself with, versus just trying to be cool and kick it. So and that hurts you. Like people can talk shit about somebody not applying enough pressure, but Chaz to me is playing the field like shit 25, 25, 20. He's splitting that shit up properly. and he's getting nicked for that. Like people looking at him like you need to make up your mind, but no, he's playing the field. Then that's
how it goes every season. Every season on the show, usually it's just 2 women and 1 man, maybe 3. But at this point, he is, it's a whole nother thing. But that's the way the game is set up, because if you tell a man he got to flirt and stay in contact with everybody, but then he's not going to be able to pick one. Women are always going to pick who they like, because I don't think it's in our nature to be, all over the place.
Right. And that's why I'm not looking at it on TV. I'm like, he kind of doing what he's supposed to do. Now you do got to get to a point where you got to make a decision.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be on the last day. Like, with me knowing Chaz a little bit, I don't really know him that well. I do think he would have been comfortable with taking all other women home. You know what I'm saying? And all the rest of the niggas is going empty-handed.
I think he's doing it now.
Right. And he take a little bit of pride in that, but that's just me this point.
Of course, that's the lion in the jungle. He ain't gonna leave nothing on the table. Like, why?
If they going, you go right with them.
Absolutely.
This shit. Now that I'm not on the show, this shit was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. We don't see the show before they put it out, so it's always a little bit of tension. Like, okay, did I do some bullshit this episode?
Yeah.
Like, woof. Then me watching this shit was the best episode of the season for me, because I had to worry about
how they were going to show you.
Is there anything that they didn't show that you wish they've shown that got edited out?
Yeah, I would say just like they made it seem like I was on 8 episodes just for no reason.
Yeah.
I wish they would have saw, because like off day 1, Chaz had the most motion, deservingly so. Mm-hmm. So, but I would say after Chaz, at least initially, I made a really good impression amongst multiple women.
We remember you were like the favorite. You were on everybody's mouth in the ladies' lounge.
But a little longer than that. I think it may have showed this shit for about 2 episodes. But like, I started falling off once I left and missed a couple episodes and came back. But at the same time, I think everything happened how it's supposed to. Like, the women who I didn't apply pressure to, it was for a reason. Not because they were bad people, but it's just because I wasn't interested.
Gotcha.
It's a whole lot going on in the chat. I don't even know what's happening. Everybody's
I'm scared. How can I look at the chat later? Do I got to pay for something or pay like a subscription or something?
No. It's. I'm not sure. Some people can see it when they tap in, and some people can't. But I don't.
My mama watching. Mama takes some screenshots.
Let me ask you this. What will you take from, or did you learn anything about yourself when it comes to dating from this situation? Because I feel like every time you interact with people, you learn something, and you learn, okay, a little bit more about yourself or how you are, maybe what you want, what you don't want. What will you take from this Ready to Love experience as you go forward in life with new relationships?
To be transparent and dating wise, I haven't traditionally dated women with children, and I haven't traditionally dated women who are slim. And 2 of my top connections were one of both. Mm-hmm. And being on this show helped me see value, because I see value in Black mothers in the community, but I haven't always saw value in them romantically, as far as like me. Because like for me, in my mind, at least back in the day, I was like, I've tried to be so careful not to have kids by someone that I didn't see myself with for the long haul. Like, it didn't always make sense for me to take care of another nigga's kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but now, me being on this show, most of the women had children, and I enjoyed their company. I've gotten to know some of them on an intimate level, and I'm like, shit. Now I'm looking at it to where, okay, now it depends on how's the relationship. Now I'm open to it, and this process made me open to it, because now I've met a beautiful woman or beautiful women on this process that I see a lot of value in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm more open. Even though I ain't got no kids, I'm open to dating a young lady with children.
That's interesting because I am a stickler for, and this is, you know, I went through a divorce, and so I had 2 children after my divorce. And I remember there were some guys I met that did not want to date women that had children. When I first got divorced, that hurt my feelings. But then after I realized it was okay, then I was like, okay, well, that person just isn't for me. And children are a lot. And so with my kids, I do tell them, if you don't want to date someone that has children, you don't have children, that's well within your right. And it's okay. I think we have to be okay to let people have their preferences, you know what I mean? Specifically if it's their lifestyle.
Yeah,
but
sure.
if that's something that you're open to, I think, you know, that's dope.
It's not a hell no more. You know what I'm saying? It was a hell no at first. Now it's like, okay, we'll see. But for me, ultimately, I want to end up with the best person in the world for me. And if I'm with a woman, I'm dating a woman, and she has children, but she's better for me than women who don't, then I'm gonna choose my peace over than a woman, because you can have a woman with no children get on your nerves all the goddamn time. And so one thing I've noticed the value that women with children have. You know what I'm saying? For one, my mom would always tell me that women with children are gonna be, you want a nurturing woman.
Yeah.
Women who have children are gonna be more nurturing. And also what I've seen through this process, they're more appreciative. I can take a woman out with no children who may go out on dates all the time. I can spend $300 on, you know, Dallas, going out to Dallas is expensive. You know what I'm saying? So spend $300 one night, shit, you may not even get a thank you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But shit, a woman with a child, shit, she like, thank you. Woo, I kicked it tonight. Like, she'd be like, you got her away from the kids. And that's like appreciation.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, a lot of women with no children, they just sitting around with a little bit of entitlement. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think when you have children, it just kind of gives you a different perspective. Yeah. It definitely gives you a different perspective. I thought it was interesting that LaRon said that, because I think he says he's like I like him a lot because I think he reminds me of some friends that I've had. He's honest, and he's still learning and growing. But he was like, for a long time, I've never was around women. I didn't even know anybody that had children, right? And he said that tonight on the show that he wasn't usually around people that had children. And I think that's a normal thing. If that's what if that's the lifestyle, he probably has friends, birds of a feather flock together. So that is a big change to go from not being around anyone that has children to Mika saying, how are you going to help discipline my son? Because he's wild. Like,
exactly. LaRon, I like LaRon a lot. LaRon, to me, was perfect for the show. Like, I'm glad they let me go versus him, because I had fun watching this shit tonight. I think he did a brilliant job in this episode, doing a lot of bullshit, but it was entertaining. LeBron is one of the best people that you'll ever meet, and one of the worst niggas at the same time. And I think everybody sitting at home can see that he has these heights and he has these lows, but it all depends on where he is emotionally.
Yeah.
But like, I just want to see him continue to develop, become more secure, and just grow from everything. Grow from his experience. And I see a lot of good things in him.
Well, we see a lot of good things in you. I'm so glad we didn't get a chance to really get to see your personality. I really appreciate that you were open to coming and having this chat with us tonight, because we got a chance to hear from a real man that really had a lot more to say than we saw on the show. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I had a lot of shit to say, but I also knew today that LaRon was going to throw me in that group chat shit. And, initially I'm like, I'm preparing myself for some bullshit. But I watched it, and as it played along, he did a masterful job of getting what he wanted at the situation, because ultimately he didn't give a damn about that group chat. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to get to Maya, because Maya was somebody that he genuinely liked and cared about. So I don't take it personal. Initially I was like, this nigga got me fucked up.
Yo, that's you though. That's I respect that.
Yeah, he would just it's almost like your homeboy saying Dominick did this or Dominick did that, lying to his girl just so he can, what I'm saying? I said I'm gonna let that shit slide.
That's what it is, dirty macking. But
you're not supposed to do that though. I think that's anti-guy code. I don't think LaRon, I don't think you should do that anymore. I don't think God
anti-God code. Like when you do fuck shit, you don't get what you want at the end. And like, you know, so you gotta build the right foundations by being solid up front. Then you got some shit to stand on. But when you do fuck shit, the shit ain't gonna ever work out for you at the end.
That's fair. That's definitely true.
Shout out to Lamar though.
That's definitely true. Let me just before we get off that, let me just ask you one more question about that. Because at first I thought, was he really that upset? Do you think he and Koshia's connection was that strong that he was that upset with Alexis because of Koshia?
Yeah, not only was he upset with Alexis, and he'll come clear it up. I know he's coming in a couple of weeks to come speak to you guys, but now I think in hindsight, I didn't know at the time because not to throw Lamar under the bus, but when we had the pajama party, he came to me and damn near begged for me not to vote Koshia off, and I'm like, I seen something in his eyes, and I'm like, nigga, you got to be kidding me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I didn't believe that shit.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, now I almost feel bad for voting off Koshia but in my mind too, it's like if someone goes home, that don't stop shit.
Yeah.
If you genuinely got a connection. So
that's true.
So me going home, I'm still a sniper at the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on a roof. I'm still knocking off my targets.
Right.
And then you'll see the story develop. I'm at home with the AK.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I believe it. I believe it.
He understood that, man. Like, look, if you really want this young lady, her going home don't stop shit.
Yeah.
But
maybe he knew that she wanted to be on. I believe that because there was a scene in the men's lounge when everybody was saying her name, and he looked like he was like about to tear up. You know, he really looked upset. And he was like, "Well, I would like her to stay." And you could tell he's like an emotional guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. And so I was like, he was willing to throw himself on the sword to let you guys know he really wanted her to stay, where some guys would hold it back and play cool.
Right.
But he really was, willing to just put himself out there and be like, I would really like her to stay. And he was just as emotional trying to get Alexis kicked off.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
So he's an emotional person, which to me, people like that, they can be cool, but they can also be dangerous.
That's what
he dangerous in a motherfucker. Like he dangerous, but I don't know like whether him being dangerous is a reflection of the show or in real life. Because I like him. I think he has some really good traits, but I do want him to heal and just work on some foundational shit. Because I see a lot of greatness in damn near everybody on the show for real.
Yeah, I think everybody. I definitely think that we're going to have him on in a couple of weeks, and actually we're going to have him join us. I know you talked to him. I would love for you to join us. We're doing a panel here in Atlanta for the Natural Hair Show. We did a panel last year. It was great. We're doing another Venus versus Mars panel. So we'll reach out, and if you could be a part of that, that would be great. Because it is April 25th through the 28th, but the day would be the 27th, which is a Saturday.
Yeah, my event in Dallas. I'm doing a really big event in Dallas on the 27th, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, maybe we can do it for when we do our New Orleans thing. We'll keep in touch. But I was like, we definitely need to get him on this panel. So we'll definitely keep in touch with you. But I just want to thank you again. Let people know where they can follow you and where can we find out more about your art. So there may be people in Dallas that want to patronize your business or be connected with that.
So, just to keep it funky with y'all, like, that was one of my interests, because I just moved here and I wanted to maybe see, okay, like, yes, I'm here for love, but in my mind, I was like, okay, this will also probably be good business-wise. Mm-hmm. Then before we started shooting, I had an event here and like 650 people came to my event. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit, I don't need this show for this shit. I can just go ahead and just be focused on actually dating. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. But the show's been growing in Dallas. Had damn near 1,000 people at my last event in February 3rd. And I had a show in Mexico City about 2 weeks ago. Mexico City is my favorite city in the world. Love that city. But you can follow my business at vanguardarts.us and my personal page. Fuck the personal page. You just follow my business.
That's what's up. Well, we wish you success with that. I actually went to an art show on my way here today. We had a photo shoot. Yeah, with a good friend of mine that just started. It was some beautiful pieces, Black artists that were shown with the South Fulton Art Department here in Atlanta. It was beautiful. But yeah, good luck with that. Please stay in touch with us because I definitely want to have you back. We need men that are willing to be honest, men that are willing to be candid, because people, and women too, you don't grow unless you're honest. People can't learn, you can't learn. So I think even from what I saw with the chat, people really appreciated that. We will also hold the reserve out to invite you back after the reunion.
Oh, woo. Now I'll say, not to talk about the reunion, but man, like that shit was bad. It was bad for me. For other people, that shit is fun and entertaining. Yeah. But for me, as a person who loves Black people and want to see Black people progress, that shit was a setback. Like I became racist after. Like I was looking to join the KKK.
Oh my God!
Like, man, I'm done with niggas for about a month. I took a break. I started going to white clubs, discotheque. You know what I'm saying? Like after the reunion. So not to get too much, but that shit was horrible.
Not go be around the oonts.
Yeah, I was like this, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I took a break from Black people for about a month, and I'm just not like trying to rejuvenate.
Yeah, well, don't come down. Well, I did a great interview today with Jermaine Dupri. I can't wait to share that on the channel. And he did such a great job talking about just how a lot of times we as Black people can get so distracted by, because he's doing a Freaknik documentary. That's what we were talking about. It was like people are distracted by the party and we lose sight of the fact of all the amazing things that we're doing. And so with you curating an art show and being on that show, even though I'm sure it's a ghetto hot mess, but the beautiful part in this is that there are some people watching television that may not know that there are Black men that look like you that curate art shows. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? And I think we have to keep focusing on not getting distracted. And trust me, I get that way sometimes too, so frustrated when you see some of the things that go viral. It's like, are y'all kidding me? But at the end of the day, we have to look at the whole picture. And the whole picture is that all Black women are not showing the booty hole brown. There are some of us that are out here trying to raise responsible daughters who love Black men. Some of us that want to help heal. There are amazing Black men like the two of you. So we just have to stay focused. And when we get discouraged, we have to look at each other and say, I need to be reminded that my brothers and sisters are freaking amazing. And so I appreciate you for showing up in that space tonight.
I appreciate that. And when I'm amongst my people, my core, I'm reminded of that on a day-to-day basis. So it made me put a premium on the women that I date, have dated,
like that.
And friends too. I'm like, damn, like, because sometimes you can get so used to being around certain type of solid people.
Yeah.
Then you be like, then you experience something else. You're like, oh shit, damn, nigga, give me a hug, nigga, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like, I appreciate my friends more.
Yeah.
Than what I ever did after this experience.
Yeah, and people, there's also room for growth. I've learned, there's opportunity, because I used to be the type of person that if a person wasn't living a lifestyle that I approved of, I would slide to the left. But God showed me that you can't help if you are taking the light away. The light only illuminates in darkness, right? So you have to be a light there. So yes, you guys, please look up Dominick's page. Dominick, please stay in touch with us so we can figure out how to get you back. Even if we get you back on the show in preparation, we're doing a big show at Essence. And so we definitely want to extend an invitation for you to be a part of that.
Thank you.
And we want to wish you much success for your art show in April.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this show too. We appreciate it.
Oh man, I enjoy it. The shit tripped me out when your husband said I was a tree hugger. That shit was funny as hell because he was damn near right. You know what I'm saying? I don't hug trees and shit, but I got like 15, 20 plants in my place. So I have a garden back home. So that's borderline tree hugger. So he was right.
You don't leave the tree hugging thing alone, man.
I just want to know how many plants you have in your house.
I got a couple of rubber. You never mind what I got at Miles. You don't worry about that. Mind your business. You don't worry about that.
Thank you so much, Dominique.
No.
Thank you. We'll definitely see you again.
You have a good night.
All right, you too. Yeah, you knew I was coming for you. You knew I was coming for you. No, that was a really good interview. We had some good interviews this week. So
I see the shirt, right?
Yeah, the shirt was very fit. I cannot believe all them women are going after Chaz. I am still confused.
But the temptation, he built for it, but he ain't built for it unless he's playing the game. If he is, he's playing it very, very well.
I can't tell. I feel like Dominick low-key called me square, but I can't tell if he's being serious about not being able to juggle.
He's playing. I'm telling you from day one, do not buy that.
You're right, because he did immediately put his head in her cleavage immediately.
He's slick with it. I mean, he can listen, man. He playing the game. He know what he's doing, and acting like that in front of Vanessa and be like, come on, man. You know.
You say you know. Well, it was an interesting. We've got to do Love is Blind, our review. So maybe we can get to that this weekend. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you can see what we have to say about that. Please make sure you're subscribed so that when we get ready to do this Love is Blind reunion conversation, you can be on. Because I feel like we need to have a whole segment dedicated to that. I also want to I have an article that I did about all the times that AD should have left. All the times that Clay had an opportunity
to tell her
right thing.
I know what it was, the final straw. I do know what it was.
What was the final straw?
How do I say this? The non-makeup version of something.
I hate you. But people are saying they're still together. So how would you explain?
No. I sent you the thing. You saw that, right? I don't know if they're together. They was just in the same.
No, but the reunion, they had a clip from the reunion where he said saying no was the worst mistake of his life.
He playing for the camp anyway. I mean, everybody deserves love. Let me put that out there for y'all get on me. Talking about, I don't think some people. Everybody deserves love.
I think that too. I think, like you said, everybody may not deserve it with me.
Yeah, they definitely don't deserve me. Okay. You deserve it from somewhere, wherever you can get it.
Oh man, Mo, make sure that you get Dominick's information so we can have him.
I like that. I wish we would have saw that on I think the ladies would have loved him more, but I don't think he made a strong enough connection with somebody to even open up like that.
Well, but I think what he said with him saying that he didn't want to open up because of what was going on, that's fair.
Part of it too. But I mean, you have to say nothing vulnerable, but just his mindset. Like, I think that's dope.
When in Rome says, was it the quick weave?
Man, it was. You talking about on AD? Is what you talking about?
Yes, Mo.
Man, look, I could deal with that. I would see that all the. No, it was just her. Let's just say that. All natural. and that's the thing, man. But here's the thing I will say about Clay. When they finally got out the pods and he saw her, I don't know if y'all how they could go back and watch it. Oh yeah, because it's on.
Go back and watch it.
Watch this first half a second of his face. And that's going to tell the whole story.
You know what's interesting is that I read an article from one of the girls that writes for Collider like I do. And she said that we all thought because of what happened with his father, we gave him a pass. And you and Dominick both, and Adrian, because I'll be like, well, maybe he's doing that. He's like, men don't give men passes based on emotional things. I've noticed that. I asked about Mike Epps and the drug use, and Dominick was like, they'll use anything. I asked you about Clay and his father. Was that the reason that you immediately dismissed that? Are you guys dismissing it because you know, or are you saying that you all don't process things the same way that we do?
I mean, if it does, it's not going to come out in that manner. That's number one. Number two, with Clay, if that woman looked the way he really, really wanted to look, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah.
Number two, I have a tattoo on my arm that says, I'm not a product of my environment. I'm a product of my dreams. We are all products of our decisions.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be like his father, he wasn't going to be like his father.
And you know what? It just like when I asked Dominick about Lamar in April, and he said the only reason he did that was because he wasn't attracted to her. Very, very easy.
Men hold that. We just told you that we let stuff slide because women are attractive, and we might let things go on a little longer than it should because of that. That's us. We're shallow like that to a certain point. Now it becomes a point where a line, and then you start doing sucker shit. But that's how we are. So if Clay told y'all that his thing was he said it.
He did. He did say that.
Really felt.
He did say that. Well, thank you, Chloe. She's just reminding people to buy a copy of the book. I really appreciate that.
And he felt like a piece of shit, so he hung in there and tried to change his view, but that's how he really felt.
That is how he felt. That is how he felt. That's true. All right, what are you doing this weekend? What you got up for the weekend?
Hanging out with some people, and it's raining right now. I don't know what I'm doing. It's raining bad.
Who are you hanging out with?
Just some people.
Don't tell me to mind my business. Who are you hanging out with?
I was coming back. Just hanging out with some people. I got some friends in town from Boston.
Why you didn't tell us?
Who was us?
Me and Adrian.
Because this is all people you wouldn't want to meet.
Because it's a girl.
I don't know, but hey, listen, it's some. I said people. That's plural.
Dominick said men need to get threesomes out. Do you agree with that? You need to have threesomes?
I mean, if that was before I had my first threesome, I never even thought I wanted one. It was never nothing that crossed my mind.
I didn't know what I was missing because I never had it.
No, but that's what it was. And then when it happened, I was like, you can only one at a time, even if it's. But then when it happened, it was more about ego, to be honest with you, than the actual act.
I really respected that when he said that. I thought that was. Respected that.
That's what you're trying to get all that travel.
No, when he said it was his ego that made him respond like that after he was sent home. I respected that. That was real.
True.
That was real.
Once again, if y'all ever go on YouTube and Google what is
Incredible Hulk.
It's a sad music at the end when Bill Bixby walks away.
I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna play it next Wednesday.
Please. So when he was telling the story, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, he walked away like David Banner.
I'm gonna play it next Wednesday. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. It is midnight, and thank y'all for hanging out with us. I guess y'all are home on a Friday night, just like we are. But I am about to go get into a shower and get into the bed with my honey bunny. And you do whatever you're doing this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, but
we gotta do Love Is Blind though.
Y'all be safe. Say it again.
I said we got to do Love Is Blind sometime.
Yeah. When's the finale joint on there?
I'll call you.
You know?
I'll find out. Yeah, I know. I got the email.
Okay. Because you done got me involved now.
I know. I'm saying we got to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah. You don't put me on to something. I didn't think I would get into this. But I just like talking shit to the TV. That's all.
And talking on here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. We love y'all for watching. Make sure that you like on the way out. A like doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is push a button because we appreciate it. We love you guys. We will be back on Wednesday. I will probably be back. I think I have that Tabitha Brown interview dropping this weekend. And then we will be back. I cannot wait to share the Jermaine Dupri interview with you guys as well. Yeah, no, it was really good. Jermaine gave me a great interview. But yeah, we love y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right, y'all.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Peace.